light up here and dark out there. You're warm with sunglasses. Of course, I can see you now, there's loads of you. How nice to see you all. Thank you very much for coming along.
Good evening, everybody. We are Morrigan. We're not actually local, but we do a lot locally. We seem to have lots of bookings in Kent folk clubs and known well at the Tenterton Folk Festival, but we're actually a bit split. I'm from London, Sarah's from Epsom, and Chris is from Croydon.
The capital of South London.
It's worse than Croydon, isn't it, really?
It is, Thornton Heath, really. Thornton Heath is like the bayou.
Sorry, Chris. So we do mainly traditional unaccompanied music, but we do play instruments, but tonight we're just going to sing some unaccompanied songs for you. We've taken various forms over the years, actually. Morrigan originally was a women's group with 3 women, born out of a Pavey band that did singing. And then we've been Sarah and I on our own, and then we've been 4 for about 12 years, and now we're 3. So different combinations of us, but we're still Morrigan.
I'm not a woman.
No, Chris is not a woman, he's an honorary woman, and he's allowed to sing with us, really.
We used to be compared to ABBA, but now we're more Boney M.
If you think so.
Okay.
Ready? Yes. So the first song we're going to sing for you is called Bushes and Briars, and it was collected by ralphvaughanwilliams. And actually, over the years, we've done a lot of work with the collected songs of ralphvaughanwilliams because we were asked to, and we quite often perform in Leith Hill Place in Surrey, which was Vaughan Williams' childhood home. So I think we've got a few tonight with the ralphvaughanwilliams. Yes, collected. So this is a love song, really, and it was collected at Ingrave by Mr. Potiphar. Through bushes and through briars, I lately took my way, all for to hear the small birds sing, and the lambs to skip and play, all for to hear the small birds sing, and the lambs to skip and play. I overheard my own true love, her voice it rang so clear. Long time have I been waiting for the coming of my dear. Long time have I been waiting for the coming of my dear. Sometimes I am uneasy and troubled in my mind. Sometimes I think I'll go to my love and tell to him my mind. Sometimes I think I'll go to my love and tell to him my mind. And if I should go to my love he will say nay. If I show to him my boldness, he'll never love me again. If I show to him my boldness, he'll never love me again. cannot think the reason young women love young men, for they are so false-hearted. Young women to beguile, for they are so false-hearted. Young women to beguile.
Thank you. Vaughan Williams did a lot of collecting all around the different counties, even out to Yorkshire at some point. But this is a song from King's Lynn that he collected in about 1905, I think. Let me just check my notes. Yes, I'm right, it's amazingly. 1905, and there's only 4 verses. It's called Just As the Tide Was Flowing. He collected it from a Mr. Ben Hur. Yes, before you ask, he was a fisherman.
No, it's a local chariot though.
From a Mr. Ben Hur in Southwold, and sorry, King's Lynn. And there are only 4 verses to this. The publishers, rather, because there are some other verses, but they're a little bit more explicit. So the publishers felt that they should be left out. So we have the non-explicit version, I'm afraid. We're working on the others. It's called Just As the Tide Was Flowing, and it's a simple song about a sailor meeting a nice young lady, and they decide they get on very well together, don't they? Okie doke. Bum bum.
I think it's that.
Bum bum. That sounds better, yeah.
I didn't have the arrow.
One morning in the month of May, down by some rolling river, a jolly sailor I did stray when I beheld my lover. She carelessly along did stray, a-picking of the daisies gay, and sweetly sang around a lake, just as the tide was flowing. Her dress it was so white as milk, and jewels did adorn her. Her shoes were made of the crimson silk, just like some lady of honour. Her cheeks were red, her eyes were brown, her hair in ringlets hanging down. She'd a lovely brow without a frown, just as the tide was flowing. I made a bow and said, fair maid, how came you here so early? My heart by you it is betrayed, for I do love you dearly. I am a sailor come from sea, if you will accept my company, to walk and view the fishes play, just as the tide was flowing. No more we said, but on our way we ganged along together. The small birds sang and the lambs did play, and pleasant was the weather. When we were weary we sat down beneath a tree with branches round, for my true love at last I found, just as the tide was flowing. For my true love at last I'd found, just as the tide
unlike this next song.
Okay.
So this next song, I hope there's nobody here of a nervous disposition.
Well, I'm nervous.
Yeah. So this is a song which is a bit dark and a bit sinister, and it's about basically some crows, and they're not on a diet exactly, but they kind of missed their lunch break, and so they're kind of hanging around seeing what might turn up, and there in a ditch is a knight. So they think, oh, that's pretty good. So they go and fly off to the knight and have a nice sort of supper with him there and pick him to bits, basically. It's lovely, isn't it? Yeah. But the thing is that not everybody knows that he's there. But one person does, and that's his missus. So the question is how did she know he was in the ditch? Was it a hit thing? You know, it might have been, yeah. Anyway, it dates back a long way, it's quite old. Nobody knows who wrote it, actually. It's by Anon, that very famous singer-songwriter, Anon. And it was set, actually, it's kind of like a little French tune, and that's how it became popular. Anyway, it's called the Twa Corbies, and it's got a connection to Morrigan, because the Morrigan used to shapeshift into different animals, and one of the animals she shapeshifted into was a crow. Oh, we have a crow over at the back there, don't we?
It's a Sainsbury's crow, actually.
Sainsbury's, yes.
Sainsbury's
Halloween
crow.
crow. It's a raven.
So Morrigan was, the three things Morrigan was a crow, a beautiful young woman and an old crone. Now remember initially it was three women. We only lasted because we never decided who was who.
Yeah. Although our husbands all had the
They
idea.
did actually, yes. Yeah. But we won't talk about that.
Okay.
So the Twa Corbies.
As I was walking on a lane, I heard Twa Corbies macking a main. The tay to the other and say, oh, where shall we gang and dine the day? Oh, where shall we gang and dine the day? It's in a hint, yon old Phil Dyke. I watch their lies a new stone night, and nobody cares that he lies there. Oh, but his hook and his hound and his lady fair. Oh, hook and his hound and his lady fair. His hook is tethered hunting game, his hound to fetch the wildfowl hame. His lady's ta'en another mate. Oh, say we will mak our dinner sweet. Oh, say we will mak our dinner sweet. It's you'll sit on his white house bane, and I'll pike out his bonny blue een, and we a lock of his golden hair. Oh, with the cow nest when it grows bare. Oh, the cow nest when it grows bare. There's many a aim for him Mac's name, but none shall ken where he is gane, and all his bones when they lie bare. Oh, the wind shall blow forevermore. Oh, the wind shall blow forevermore. This next song is a love song. It's called Crystal Spring. And this was collected by Cecil Sharp, and it's quite a lovely tune really with this song. And it's I always say about this song that I learnt this in primary school, and always want to know if anyone else ever learnt it in primary school. And I've one person so far, one person and her sister, so that made two, and there was me and my brother, so that made the four of us. So I'd love to hear if anyone knew this as well.
Yeah, I've a feeling I had it in one of the the books I had at school.
It was in the book.
It's a strange song to have in a children's book, really, isn't it?
I suppose it's traditional
Yeah.
folk. There were lots of traditional folk songs,
I
not,
guess so,
not
yeah.
altered for children.
No, true, yes. Okie doke. Have we got a note?
We have, because I can see
Always
it.
helps. Sounds good.
Down by some crystal spring, where the nightingales sing, most pleasant it is in season to hear the groves ring. Down by some riverside, a young captain I spied, entreating of his true love for to be his bride. Dear Phyllis, said he, can you fancy me all in your soft bowers? A crown it shall be, and wherever you dine, there you shall drink wine. And so pleasant in the season, when you shall be mine. And you shall take no pain, I will you maintain. My ship, she's unloaded, just coming from Spain. Like a lady so rare, I'll maintain you so fair. There's no lady in the navy with you shall compare. But if ever false I prove to my soft turtle dove, may the ocean turn desert and the elements move, for wherever I shall be, I'll be constant to thee. My heart is no rover if I row through the sea.
Crystal Spring.
So if you've been enjoying our music and would like to take us home with you, it is possible, because we have a couple of CDs at the back. One's a Christmas one and one's songs that really people have enjoyed us singing. I think that one's on it, actually.
It is.
If you
Buy
like
early
that.
for Christmas, though, I say.
But it's not on the Christmas one.
No.
Crystal Spring anywhere.
And don't be put off by the crow.
No.
It's just there.
Just watching
God, crow.
So our next song is called The Cropper Lads, and this is our version of Cropper Lads. So this song was sort of written as a call to arms song. So this song's really about the Luddites, so the people who smashed the machinery. And the first people who were to do this were the croppers, and the croppers had a very skillful job. They cloths that had a nap on it, so things like velvet, they would shear the top off that with some very heavy shears, and machines came in and could do this in about 2 seconds flat. So that's why people smashed the machines. It was the end of their livelihood. So in a pub in Nottinghamshire, somebody sung this song to call people to come in and join the action, and they did. And it was, a bit response to this song and what had been going on. And the very last verse of this song mentions Great Enoch, which was the name of the hammer that they used to smash the machines. And ironically, it was Enoch Taylor and James Taylor, not that James Taylor,
He went on to other
who
things.
went on to other things, other type of frames.
Yeah,
But they made the frames, and so ironically, they called the name of the hammer that smashed the machines by the maker.
They could have called the hammer James,
They
couldn't
could.
they?
They
But I
didn't
think they
have to
thought
say.
Enoch was funnier.
Not like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
They had a sense of humour, didn't
Yeah.
they? Yeah. So if you ever want to go smashing frames, call your hammers Enoch.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, the sad thing is that the Luddites came to a very bad end, really. It's a pretty serious song because they hanged them and slaughtered them and all sorts, really. It was not a good end for the croppers.
No.
Come, cropper lads of high renown, who live to drink good ale that's brown, and strike each haughty tyrant down with hatchet, pike, and gun. Oh, the cropper lads for me, and gallant lads they be, who with lusty stroke the sheer frames broke. The cropper lads for me. What though the specials still had bonds, and soldiers round us nightly prance, the cropper lads still lead the dance with hatchet, pike, and gun. Oh, the cropper lads for me, and gallant lads they be, who with lusty stroke the sheer frames broke. The cropper lads for me. And night by night, when all is still, the moon is hid behind the hill, we forward march to do our will, with hatchet, pike, and gun. Oh, the cropper lads for me, and gallant lads they be, who with lusty stroke the sheer frames broke. The cropper lads for me. Great Enoch still shall lead the van. Stop him who dares, stop him who can. Press forward every gallant man, with hatchet, pike, and gun. Oh, the cropper lads for me, and gallant lads they be, who with lusty stroke the sheer frames broke. The cropper lads for me.
This next song first appeared in a collection in 1530, and there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of versions of it. It's called Jones's Ale, and it's basically about a load of people, tradesmen usually, who meet at a pub for a drink. And the song just goes through to list all the people who were in there. In our particular one, George Butterworth and Vaughan Williams travelled up to Southwold to collect this one. And there are only 4 tradesmen in our one, so we've limited it. It can go on to about 8 or 9, I think, can't it? Yeah. But luckily,
times are hard, isn't it?
yes, times are, you can't get the staff.
This is the only employment.
Exactly, you can't get the tradesmen anyway. So, but this is Jones's Ale. So if you feel like joining in, it's. I mean, I'm sure you all know versions of Jones's Ale. Ours is this one. As I say, George Butterworth and Vaughan Williams. They went up to Southwold on the train, and then they took their bicycles from the station and cycled all the way around the area of Southwold and collected this particular version. On one occasion, they were in a pub and they needed to get back to their digs, which were the other side sort of a river. And they were going to go around by the road, but there was an old boy in the pub who had a boat, you see, and he said, "Oh, don't do that, put the bikes in the boat and I'll row you over, you see." So,
Dangerous.
yeah, he'd had one or two, you know, and so they put the bikes in the boat, and after about 3/4 of an hour, certain lights in the distance they noticed had not got any closer, and then in the end the old boy had fallen asleep, so they sort of drifted to land and tied up, left him in the boat, and managed to find their way back to their hotel or digs or wherever they were staying. Anyway, the next night they were back in the pub, and the old boy was there, but completely all right and everything, just slept the night in the boat. And he offered to take them again, but this time they refused. So, yeah, so this is the version of Jones's Ale from Southwold. Yeah.
And it has got in it, one of the tradesmen is a blacksmith.
Yeah.
And we know about that.
Well, blacksmiths were always considered to be symbols of virility in folk songs, and so we've left our blacksmith to the last in this one. And yeah, so but it's we've got some other trades as well, haven't we? Yeah. So right, are we ready? That sounds good. Okay, right.
There were 4 jolly tradesmen, they all fell out a drinking. They all fell out a drinking amongst the jovial crew. They all sat down for to be merry and called out loud for a bottle of sherry. And there they sat and drank so merry. When Jones's ale was new, when Jones's ale was new, brave boys, when Jones's ale was new.
Now the first to come in was a dyer, and he sat himself down by the fire.
He sat himself down by the fire amongst the jovial crew.
And he told the landlord to his face the chimney corner should be his place, and there he could sit and dye his old face.
When Jones's ale was new, when Jones's ale was new, brave boys, when Jones's ale was new.
Now the next to come in was a bricklayer, and he was a jolly bricklayer.
And he was a jolly bricklayer amongst the jovial crew.
He pitched his trowel against the wall and wished all churches and towers might fall, for it would make work for bricklayers all.
When Jones's ale was new, when Jones's ale was new, brave boys, when Jones's ale was new.
Now the next to come in was a tinker, and he was no small beer drinker.
And he was no small beer drinker amongst the jovial crew.
He said, if you've pans and pots and kettles, my rivets are made of the very best metals, and I'll soon have 'em all in fine fettle.
When Jones's ale was new, when Jones's ale was new, brave boys, when Jones's ale was new.
Wait for it. Now the last to come in was a blacksmith, and he was a jolly blacksmith.
And he was a jolly blacksmith amongst the jovial crew.
He swore he'd make a hook and a hoe. His queer old hammer went high and low, and how his old bellows did puff and blow.
When Jones's ale was new, when Jones's ale was new, brave boys,
when Jones's ale was new.
There you go, Jones's ale. In that particular version, they go into the pub and instead of calling for beer, they call out for a bottle of sherry. Which is obviously, they're obviously very sophisticated.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
that
I don't think if you went to a pub these days and asked for a bottle of sherry, they'd have one actually.
No. My wife the other day wanted a port and lemon. And I said, ooh, what's that? She's of a certain generation.
When you go to rum and lovage.
Okay, no, what's next?
Okay, so we are going to go, well, we're not going to Wales, but we're going to go, it's a song about Wales, but not Wales the country, it's a song about Wales. And this is a very well-known song, so please feel free to sing along with it if you want. It's called the Greenland Whale Fishery. And actually, it dates back quite a long way, so it's probably 18th century, this song, when lots of people used to go off for months, sometimes years, catching whales. And sometimes they were successful, and sometimes they weren't so successful. And sometimes, as in this story, they thought they were going to be successful, and then not only were they not successful, but they actually lost a large number of their crew.
Yes, they did. I mean, hunting whales in those days was not like factory ships, obviously. It was some blokes in a little boat with a pointed stick approaching this thing the size of a block of flats, and it sort of flips its tail, and they're gone, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay,
so...
What's the top note? Okay, got the
They took us jolly sailor lads a-fishing for the whale on the 4th day of August in 1864. Bound for Greenland we set sail. The lookout stood on the cross trees high with a spyglass in his hand. There's a whale, there's a whale, there's a whalefish, she cried, and she blows at every span. The captain stood on the quarter deck, and the sort of a man was he. Overhaul, let your davit tackles fall, and we'll launch them boats to sea. We struck that whale and the line played out, but she gave a flurry with her tail, and the boat capsized. We lost 7 of our men, and we never caught that whale. Now the losing of 7 fine seamen, it grieved our captain sore. But the losing of a bloody sperm whale, oh, it grieved him 10 times more. Now Greenland is a horrid place where our fisher lads have to go, where the rose and the lily never bloom in spring. No, there's only ice and snow.
Thank you, Greenland.
So the next one we're going to do is staying with a sea theme. And this song actually, surprisingly, dates back to about 1690. I always thought it was a bit more modern than that. I thought it was about 19th century, but it isn't.
1960.
Yeah. No, I thought 19th century at least. But anyway, it's not. It's 1690. And there are so many versions of this because it's just basically the tale of all the sailors going off to sea and everything else and having all the perils of storms and everything else. And then they come back home and they basically blow all the money that they've got and, and they go back to sea again. Yeah.
In some cases they go back to their wives or...
Sometimes they do, don't
Sometimes they don't.
Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they find another wife or go.
The Coppers actually have made this really famous, didn't they? Non-copper, really, yeah. So it is called...
It's called Adieu, Sweet Lovely Nancy. So do sing along if you know.
That's it. It's just a C. We're all on the C. What was it?
I know it's not. Let's see. I can't read it without my glasses.
It's adieu, sweet lovely Nancy, 10,000 times adieu. I'm bound to cross the ocean, love, to seek for something new. Come change your ring with me, dear girl, come change your ring with me. For it might be a token of true love while I am on the sea. And when that I am on the sea, you'll know not where I am. Kind letters I will send to you from every foreign land. The secrets of your heart, dear girl, are the best of my goodwill. So let your body be where it might, my heart will be with you still. There are tinkers, tailors and shoemakers lie snoring at their sleep, while we poor souls on the ocean wide are ploughing through the deep. There is nothing to protect us, love, nor keep us from the cold. On the ocean wide where we must bide like jolly seamen bold. There's a heavy storm arising, see how it gathers round, while we poor souls on the ocean wide are fighting for the crown. Our officers commanded us, and it's them we must obey, expecting every moment for to get cast away. And when the wars are over, there'll be peace on every shore. We'll come home to our wives and our families and the girls that we adore. We'll call for liquor merrily and spend our money free. And when our money is all spent, we'll boldly go to sea.
Thank you. Times, winged chariot and all that, to quote the great Andrew Marvell.
Yes.
One more?
One more.
Yeah.
Yes, one more. One more. So this is the ripe and bearded barley. It's got a chorus. It'd be great if you sing it. I'm sure everyone knows it. And we get it. We've been going to guests at Tenston Folk Festival for probably about the last 10, 11, maybe 12 years. But we're quite wedded to that festival. And Kathy and Bob Drage were people who had a big part in the running of that festival for many years, and sadly they died sort of within about a week of each other. It was a really, really awful thing.
Very sad. Bob died and Kathy really sort of just
Gave up.
Yeah.
died with a broken heart.
Yeah, it was really sad.
Very, very sad, but maybe
Yeah.
in a way it was appropriate for them, wasn't it? So,
Yes, yes, but it, you know, for us it was sad because we'd made sort of a lovely connection with them, and they this is one of the songs that they did, and they gave it to us and asked us to sing it, which we were very honoured actually
yes.
by. So when we sing this, we always think of Kathy and Bob and
Yes.
Tenterton.
yes.
But just to say thank you everybody for listening to us. We hope you enjoyed it. If you would like to look at one of our CDs at the back, please do. But we hope you're really going to enjoy the rest of the wonderful evening that's planned for you.
Yes, we're really, really pleased to be asked to support Katie Grace Harris, and I'm sure that's going to be a wonderful follow-on for the rest of the evening. So Ripe and Bearded Barley, and do join in. We love it when people join in. We can't see you, but we'll be able to hear you.
They've gone.
Yeah, is anyone there?
They've all gone, Ross. Okay. Now it's
Come out, 'tis now September, the hunter's moon's begun, and through the wheat and stubble we hear the frequent gun. The leaves are fading yellow and burning into red, when the ripe and bearded barley is hanging down his head. All amongst the barley, who would not be blithe, when the ripe and bearded barley is smiling on the scythe? Wheat is like a rich man, he's sleek and well-to-do. The oats are like a pack of girls, a thin and dancing crew. Rye is like a miser, he's sulky, mean and small. But the ripe and bearded barley is monarch of them all. All amongst the barley, who would not be blithe, when the ripe and bearded barley is smiling on the scythe? Spring is like a young maid who does not know her mind. The summer he's a tyrant of the most ungracious kind. Autumn he's an old friend who pleaseth all he can. He brings the bearded barley to glad the heart of man. All amongst the barley, who would not be blithe, when the ripe and bearded barley is smiling on the scythe? The babe it knows no grief nor care, save in its mother's breast. The grown man he must strive and strain, it's seldom he can rest. The greybeard sits and takes his ease, where care no more holds sway. With pipe and dog and clear brown ale, he dreams the time away. All amongst the barley, who would not be blithe, when the ripe and bearded barley is smiling on